Hello everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and today we've got a couple of short videos for you. The first is going to be about Cerebro and the Cerebro problem. They have buffed this card to where I think it is actually an issue. We're going to talk about the three best Cerebro decks in Snap right now. One Cerebro 2, the Cerebro 2 is basically a solved deck, and then two Cerebro 3 decks. The big update to Cerebro in the most recent OTA was that it went back to 3 cost from 2 cost, but now the highest power cards get plus 3 power, which means you're giving between 3 and 6 power to the other cards in the game. That's an absolute ton. Silver Surfer had a point where he gave plus 3 and he was a 3-0. He was at that point the best card in the game, arguably the best card in the history of the game, the card that was in the deck with the highest win rate in the history of the game. They just went and did that to Cerebro. Let's talk about the decks. First, we have the Cam Worst C2. This list is absolutely wildly powerful. This is one of the very best lists in the game. Cam Worst sent this to me the same night that the Cerebro buff happened with his 70% win rate, and it is now the top win rate deck in all of Marvel Snap. This deck is an absolute monster. Cerebro just forget Mystique. Cerebro making Lasher fundamentally a 10, Mr. Sinister a 10, and Brood a 15 is absurd, especially because you can often just steal a lane with Storm, and then you have Goose to help you either protect you from Enchantress or go tall in a lane. It's wildly strong. You can find Camworst at twitter.com/Camworst. This deck doesn't actually need any of the high series cards. The only high series cards here really are Nico and Lasher, so those can be Nightcrawler, Ravonna, and Baku. Basically pick your good 2-power card that doesn't gain extra stuff. All right, let's go card by card. So Echo is here to counter the meta. The meta right now is a ton of Cerebro decks. I feel like at High Infinite, every second or third game I'm playing is a Cerebro matchup. It is extremely prominent. Echo means, and people have Echo blindness, they will occasionally just play an important card, an important ongoing card into Echo, and you just get the free wins that way. One of my favorite places to play Echo is if I have priority in my opponent's Storms, I will almost always drop Echo in that Storm lane. Sometimes it wins, sometimes it doesn't, right? But the real idea is that if my opponent's trying to do the Storm War Machine combo, if I don't think they're doing the Cerebro, that Echo will hit that War Machine right in the face, and then I'm ahead. Nico Minoru has a couple spells you don't really want. The +2 is actually kind of fine on both Cerebro and Mystique. The location change is what she's really here for. Having an extra location change is amazing. You don't want to double her. The move to the right can be very, very strong. Stuff like that. Just keep in mind that some games she's going to be absolutely game-winning and backbreaking. Some games you're just going to be like, oh, wrong spell, and there's nothing very much to do. Goose is here with 2 uses. Goose's main use is if you're going to play Cerebro early, you play it in a Goose lane. If your opponent doesn't have Rogue, i.e. if they're not playing Cerebro 2 really, if they don't have Rogue, you can play that that Cerebro in that Goose lane, unless they get lucky with the Zabu or a Surge. That is now a protected Cerebro, and you should be able to win that lane. The other use for Goose is you get very tall here. You're capable of putting up, when you get Cerebro and Mystique, like 30 power lanes, but your lanes are more in the low 20s if you don't get both Cerebro and Mystique. So Goose gives you a way to win some lanes on the cheaper. A Storm lane and a Goose lane is often going to be very powerful and win you the game. Lasher, meanwhile, is a 2-5 to 2-8 that plays for a 2-10 to 2-16. That's absurd power, right? Like, you just love Lasher here. You're perfectly fine to just drop him early and leave him as a threat in the game. Remember, opposing Cerebro 2s will have their own Luke Cage, so you have to be careful, but you should still be good. Luke Caging Cerebro is amazing, but sometimes Luke Caging a Rogue can be nearly as impactful. Sorry, roguing a Luke Cage can be nearly as impactful. Mr. Sinister is a 2-10 to a 2-16. That's bigger than Cerebro makes Mr. Sinister bigger than Strange Supreme. That's really good. Cerebro Mystique, obviously Cerebro Mystique, they're fairly obvious. You are almost always copying Cerebro with Mystique. There's nothing else you really want to get, but once in a while you'll copy a Goose or copy a Luke Cage if you're worried about their safety, or if you rogue off something, you rogue off a Cerebro, you can copy that as well. Your general goal, though, is to just copy the damn Cerebro. Everything I said about Sinister, add an extra 5 to 8 power. Cool. Luke Cage protects you from some negative locations, and it's extremely important for that. Rogue gives you counterplay into other Cerebros, much like Echo does. If you can force the opponent not to play in a specific lane, then your Rogue, thanks to Goose, thanks to Echo, you know where their ongoings are going to go. You can actually snipe Rogues very surprisingly and very quickly, which is really great. Storm gives you location control and is just an easy lane win. Like, if you play Storm right in a lane and that Storm is 8 power, by the end of the game. That's just a real threat. And if you did that in like a Lasher lane, that lane's just 1. And then Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is the card you actually have to be most careful with. If the opponent can Enchantress your Blue Marvel, you lose the game. Period, bar none. If they Enchantress your Blue Marvel now has 3 power. All your other cards have 2 power. That Blue Marvel is now going to take all your Cerebro buffs and lose you the game. Only play Blue Marvel if you're sure they don't have Enchantress. If you think they might have Enchantress, don't play Blue Marvel. A lot of people are running Iron Man in that spot right now, or just running an extra cheap 2 instead of running Blue Marvel, like a Nightcrawler instead of Blue Marvel. I still think Blue Marvel is worth it because you don't always see Cerebro and Mystique, and then when you do see Cerebro and Blue Marvel, you still have enough power to really compete with anything. Just let's keep in mind that if we have a lane that is just Echo, Mr. Sinister, and Cerebro, right? And like you don't get Cerebro Mystique, you have a 15 power lane right there, which the opponent cannot play ongoings in. A Brood lane alone is a 15 power lane, right? And if you get the Mystique on it, you're adding an extra 9 power, so it's a 24 power lane. That's real power. That's insane power. And then if you get another card there, you've basically won that lane, right? You're putting up 30 plus in a lane with this list. So Cam Worst has a 70% win rate, and this is a 67% win rate in High Infinite, the best win rate in Marvel Snap right now. Turn 1, you want Echo. Turn 2, Goose over Lasher over Sinister. Turn 3, you want Storm over Cerebro of Goose. Whenever you get Cerebro, if it's safe, you can consider snapping. It's just that much power right now. Luke, if you have Goose, you want to keep Luke safe as well, unless there's no negative locations, in which case, whatever, over Brood. Turn 4 is the same basic concept as 3. Turn 5, you can play Blue Marvel with no Enchantress. If not, you're going to play a 2 plus Cerebro. Then last turn, you're going to go Cerebro and Mystique, or Mystique and Brood, some combination thereof, just dropping a crazy amount of power. This is, right now, the stats in Marvel Snap. This is the measuring stick. You must have a plan for this deck if you're going to play on the Infinite leaderboard. If you're going to play, I would assume, pre-Infinite, although obviously that's not where my experience is right now. This is seemingly nearly every other game. It is just constantly present, and it will stat check you. You need to be able to put up, like, at least 25 points a lane. You need to be able to handle a stormed location. You need to consider Enchantress. This is the list. But it's not the only good Cerebro list. We're going to look at 2 Cerebro 3 lists, including one from a top-playing Marvel Snap prodigy. But first, before we go there, please hit that sub, like, and comment. Bringing that notification bell is a good idea, too. We'll have a second video later today with what I think is actually the best deck in Marvel Snap. I think Cerebro is the deck that sets the meta, but I don't think it's the best deck. If I had to pick one deck that I think is going to win, or is like really high chance to win this next tournament, and that if someone wants to play it at a high level, they can really crush High Infinite, it'll be the deck we feature later today. So hit that sub, like, and comment. Don't miss it. We're also giving away a Merlin every single day this week. All you have to do is sub, like, and leave a comment. Your comment will enter you to win the new Season Pass Merlin, which comes out tomorrow. Tomorrow's video will have decks for all four of the new cards that come out tomorrow. But all you have to do is sub, like, and comment, and you can get this card for free. All right, 1-1 Eggy C3. This is 1-1 Eggy is one of the players who made the top 8 in Golden Gauntlet 1. He's 15 whole years old, or at least according to his Twitter, he's 15 whole years old. Marvel Snap phenom, unbelievable player. Has sent me this list and was like, I'm crushing with this. I got an Infinity ticket. You need to check this out. I played this, crushed with it. This is a ton of power. It doesn't have the extra benefit of like getting 2-3 cards in a lane and amplifying the Cerebro buff like Cerebro 2, right? That's a Cerebro 2 only thing. I guess that Cerebro 5 can try and pull that off. But what you can do instead of that, why have we not played Cerebro 5? I feel like no one's playing Cerebro 5. We should try that. But what you can get instead is you get a Diamondback Hazmat plan. You get a Diamondback Hazmat often winning backup plan, right? Because you can even copy that Hazmat with Mystique, which gives you some extra play when you don't see loot. You can find Eggy at twitch.tv/121Eggy. This deck needs US Agent and Diamondback. Red Guardian can be Shang-Chi or Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Alright, so Bast is here because when you make Cerebro and Mystique buff themselves, that's really powerful, and you should try to do that. Bast otherwise is just nice if you get Scorpioned or your opponent plays Cassandra over something along those lines. Luke will solve those other problems for you though too. Invisible Woman makes you Enchantress and Rogue proof, which is really nice. So when you play Invisible Woman, you just drop Cerebro Mystique behind him and you're totally set. That is a problem that is now solved. Scarlet Witch is your location control. It is the main location control of C3. Yes, Scarlet Witch can change the location and still screw you, but still it's very useful. Scorpion is sort of your backup hazmat. You don't always have the time or energy for hazmat, and Scorpion gives you has 3 power, so it works with Cerebro and gives the opponent the negatives. If they play a couple of those in one lane, all of a sudden Diamondback is not only an 8 power card because of nope, sorry, it'd be plus plus 6 from Cerebro, so a 9 power card from Cerebro and Mystique. It is also giving -4, so it's a 13 power card. And if you get in a lane that they filled, it's a 17 power card. That's the whole gist of the deck. Sentinel gives you copies of itself, and so it is sort of like the brood of this deck. You just keep playing Sentinels, and then you're pretty set. US Agent stops big things. Opponents want to go over the top of you. You don't have access to Echo. You don't have the same ongoing control. So you have US Agent to say, no, 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 let's pull that down to size. Cerebro Mystique or Cerebro Mystique. Luke Cage is the one non-3 that's not Cerebro Mystique. You would like to hit it with Bast, obviously, but outside of that, it's just a powerful, simple play. We talked about Diamondback. Hazmat is the easiest way to get Diamondback power. Giving -1 to your opponent's whole board, while you're giving +3 to 6 to your whole board, is a good way to win games. And then Red Guardian answers opposing Cerebro, opposing Iron Man, opposing nonsense. All right, so Infinity Border winner from a top player. Turn 1, we go Bast. Turn 2, Scorpion over Sentinel over Invisible Woman. Turn 3, Cerebro on Invisible Woman, or we can drop our Diamondback. Turn 4, we're going 2+2. Generally speaking, that will be Scorpion and Sentinel, a second Sentinel, Invisible Woman, that kind of thing. Not in the same lane, obviously. Turn 5, Cerebro and 2. Sometimes you're going to need to play Luke if you plan to Hazmat. Then turn 6, some combination of Luke, Hazmat, Cerebro, and Mystique. Bro, this deck is all the points. This one feels like it's absolutely stat checking people as every bit as much as the Cerebro 2 is. The Cerebro 2 is probably better, but everyone's going to know the Cerebro 2, and this one's a surprise. So it's my gift to the community from our friend 121 Eggy. Go play it as long as you're not seeing like it will struggle occasionally into opposing Cerebro unless you can Red Guardian off that Luke. You can fairly often Red Guardian off that Luke, but it's no guarantee, right? Outside of that matchup, there's not a lot of Luke out there. This one puts out more points and just straight up stat checks, but it also wins extra Qs because people don't know what the hell you're doing. Hey, come check out a stream at twitch.tv/PulseLaser. I'm not sure I'll be live tonight because I'm going to be doing the Snap Decisions podcast, but I will do my very best. Either way, I'll be live to test 4 freaking new cards, so tomorrow's going to be a no sleep day. Let's get excited. Our season pass question, if you'd like to enter to win that Merlin, is how do you feel about the Cerebro buff? Good short term, bad short term, and should this stay long term? What are your opinions on the buff to this card? All right, Crazy's Bro 3 is our last Cerebro deck. This is more of a normal Cerebro 3. I don't want to just give you the crazy, strange one. I guess this is the crazy one, but you know what I mean. I don't want to give you the out of the ordinary one from Eggy only. I wanted to also make sure you had a more normal Cerebro 3 version. So this is that normal Cerebro 3 version. This one is more attuned to beating the mirror matches where you can Quake off the Storm lane and sort of steal Storm lanes that way. You can Quake off to really mess with opponents. And you have the Cosmo, which is also just a huge pain in the ass for everyone. You can find Crazy at twitch.tv/crazyim. The only high series card I think you need is US Agent here. Jeff can be Invisible Woman or Sentinel. Makari can be Juggernaut, and Red Guardian can be Negasonic Teenage Warhead. All right, so you're starting at 6 and going to 9 power with all these cards. Bast has the same basic use as before. We still have the exact same 3 targets, Mystique, Luke, and Cerebro, to hit with that Bast. Jeff is fundamentally, it's Jeff or Sentinel in a lot of these lists. What Jeff does is it lets you get into stormed locations, lets you get into locations that would otherwise be a problem. Quake, meanwhile, is your way to mess up opponents. There's a lot of Storm, Legion, War Machine stuff. Quake stops that. There's an awful lot of I lost the name of this thing. There's an awful lot of Storm in Cerebro 2. You can get rid of that. That's really, really powerful stuff. Scarlet Witch is the exact same as she was in the last deck. Also, there's a reasonable amount of magic as people are trying to find ways to match points against Cerebro, and Scarlet Witch is a great way to steal cubes that way. US Agent chops big things out to side. Cerebro Mystique or Cerebro Mystique. Luke protects you from negative locations and is even better when hit by Bast. Cosmo is the sleeper hit of the deck. Cosmo is so strong here. Cosmo as a way to just say no thank you to that Mystique play. No thank you to that to being able to play Legion on the Storm lane. All that stuff is incredibly powerful. And when Cosmo is a 3/6 to 3/9, it really feels broken. Makari is free points. I feel like Makari should have been in the other deck. There's just not space. It's just you take the free, like you would always, like 100% of the time, play a free 9, right? Like that's just not even a question. Mobius is, again, Mobius and Cosmo's job is to prevent you, and US Agent to prevent you from getting outstatted. Basically, these Cerebro decks are now the stat check decks of the meta, so what they do with their tech spots is they prevent opponents from being able to outstat them. I don't want my opponents, if I'm playing this deck, to be able to negative me or do other silly nonsense, so Mobius gives me that answer, and Red Guardian is the same basic concept. 60% win rate from Crazy. Turn 1, you want to Bast. Turn 2, Jeff over US Agent. Turn 3, Mobius or Cosmo. Turn 4, 2+2. Turn 5, 3+2. And then turn 6, Cerebro and Mystique. These are very straightforward decks to play. They're extremely powerful, and they're stat checking the meta. So, I think Cerebro is a problem right now. This is straight up power creep to the meta. Cerebro is putting up more points right now in regular games than Ongoing Thanos. And Ongoing Thanos was far and away, unless you were playing Killmonger or something specific to beat it, the best stat deck in the game. But what Ongoing Thanos was a stat check deck that regular mid-range can compete with. If your opponent is playing a Galacta list, a standard mid-rangey list, a Surfer list, unless they out-tech you, they can't just match you in points. That means the entire game starts to center around what tech cards people are running and how good people are at playing with Cerebro. I think that this card might be okay because Merlin can potentially, with the location change, give it some extra trouble, but I would be shocked if this lasted out the rest of the month. I do think that this is a honest, severe power creep into the meta. It is vulnerable to locations, but if you retreat those for one, you're able to aggressively snap with this deck in ways that get you a lot more points and a lot more cubes. Welcome to the Cerebro meta. It's Cerebro's world. We're all just being found by it in it. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments. If you're interested in checking it out, please do so. Patreon.com/snapjudgments, and our top tier of support offers on-air thanks every video. Thank you to Bricks2Click, Abigail Gieson, Mandatory Burnout, it regardless is a word, LAB always kind, Inc., The Graphite Fan, I am Frostman, check him out on Twitch, please, Jota Navarrete, Thinking Poker of the Think Poker Podcast, Primed Ryan of the Primed Mind app, Ryan Burke, Ryan Burke, Berkey, Ryan Wood Snap on YouTube, please, Ren Wrench, Heretics Lee, The King Questions, Koirei, checking out, coming all the way from Japan, Kazushi, who I haven't seen in a bit, hopefully you're doing well, Kazushi, drop me a line, please, Archangel 3K, that is 4Ks in a row, Black Dahlia, Profros, the Goat Seeker, Goatsy, and Code, it is Alliance Leader Group, although Mandatory Burnout is an Alliance Leader as well. Hallowed, Only Fox, what's up Fox, Synth, always busy now Synth, always busy, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, hey Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Filthy Even, Mr. Kerfuffle, hey Kerfuff, Cables, Ginger Prime, hopefully doing well, Ginge. Haven't seen him forever. Found him on a stream once and we chatted for a few minutes, so at least I know you're alive. Billy, killing it with the shorts. We had our first short hit 20,000, so props to Philly. He's totally responsible for that. Haplo, what's Haplo name? Kenny Loggins at the J-Zone, the Notorious Bizza, also notorious as Black Jeeves 23. Extra V and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends. Jessica Gamble, sup Jess, Slush Death. How you doing? Winner of Snapchat League Season 1, Slush Death. The King of Bros, Brup, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, oh, Kev, Sihoda, Luna, Chris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Just Nate Martin, Jason B., Mr. Craig Starry, and Matt V., Real Name Town, Corey, N's Real Name Town, excuse me, Corwin, John Cute, and Jimmy Cute Town, Get Stout, H.H., One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack. I showed my son the LNSL spot today. Reapser, BG, yo, Marco, our newest friend. Thank you, yo, Marco. Quid Pro Joe, Snapchat Joe. Check out Snapchat Podcast. I will be on it. The episode that is recording to frickin' night. C. Carlo 20, Model Sponsor Supreme, Bickety Boom Bot, Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan 56. Oh, check out Unibot V2 over on the YouTube side of things. Flan 56, the Spectrumix, Woo, Ocularis, Matt HD, J Mechanics, No Frickin' Flex, Nick Doug, Greek Geek, who's finally live on Twitch as I'm actually recording this. It's a Christmas miracle. Toxic Soul King, who's finally not live on Twitch and is asleep. It's a Christmas miracle. Zadrek74, check him out on Twitch. King of Canada, JJ, check him out on Twitch. He'll also be hanging out with me and calling some games next week of the Golden Gauntlet in our Discord. Link in the description of this video. Denman Falcon. Don't forget Denman. Hopefully you're doing well, my friend. Thor Newman, Twitch and YouTube. Jonesy Snapped, the most underrated Marvel Snap YouTube. Two Ties, who does in fact wear two ties, and I might be seeing for the 4th of July. My friend Lauren Whatevs, congrats. I hope you have the best week and the best end of your week. I don't know if you want me to say why, but it's awesome. I'm so happy. The Pirate King Tucker, check him out on Twitch and YouTube, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for. The sun will come out tomorrow. I don't know. The sun will come out in the second video, so don't miss it, and I'll see you for that. Peace.